What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with Astro DFS bringing you a brand new video going over today's main slate and players you want to target at each position. So, gonna get into it. Quarterback, quite a few options today. Patrick Mahomes, most expensive, really good game for him. We saw Philly get lit up by Dallas, especially the run game and short passes. Now you get Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. It's a good matchup. I do like Josh Allen a lot more than I do Patrick Mahomes. He's cheaper, has a way better matchup against a way worse defense. And they're 15-point favorites, I believe it was the last one. Russell Wilson, 7,100 against San Francisco. San Francisco still does have a good defense, but they are down a lot of defensive backs. Tyler Lockett is a go for today, so you get Lockett and Metcalf against a banged-up San Francisco secondary. Jalen Hurts against Kansas City at 6,900. Jalen Hurts, I said it going into the season. You look at his numbers. Every full game start he's had, he's put up over 20 fantasy points. The man plays for fantasy. So even in a loss, a blowout, the guy gets his fantasy points. 6,900, good option. Aaron Rodgers, 6,800. Not the best matchup against Pittsburgh, especially TJ Watt is active today. But nonetheless, Pittsburgh does have a good run defense, and their secondary is also banged up, so we could see some Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams today. Dak Prescott, 6,700, I think is another good option. Carolina, one of the best defenses in the league as of right now. Going to have a great matchup here against Dallas. Dallas is one of the best offenses in the league, so 6,700, he's not my favorite, but I do think he's in play. And then we go down. Taylor Heineke is probably the cheapest play I'm going to play. Matt Ryan is there at 5,400, but we haven't seen Atlanta's offense do anything worthwhile. Jameis is the same thing. Haven't seen that team do anything worthwhile. Heineke is more of a GPP play, playing against a really bad Atlanta team. Taylor Heineke, same. Guy puts up fantasy points. He does. So he's definitely a pay down at 5,900. I know that Justin Fields is 5,200, but that team is just bad right now. Running backs, Derrick Henry, the most expensive, probably one of the safer cash plays that you could play. Derrick Henry honestly should be about $9,500 to $10,000, especially playing against the Jets. Jets defense has been exploitable, but with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones out, Derrick Henry should get even more carries than he normally does. Alvin Kamara at 8,400, another option, guys. Against the Giants defense isn't the greatest. New Orleans offense isn't the greatest, but that offense, as of right now, revolves around Kamara. So if you're going to pay down from Henry, you're going to want to go Kamara. Dalvin Cook, I'd stay away. He is injured. He is going to play, but it doesn't look like he's going to be a full go. Nick Chubb at 7,000, I think, is in a good spot today against Minnesota's defense. Najee Harris, 6,800. We've seen Green Bay get beat pretty good by running backs. Najee Harris had an amazing week last week. I'm going to need to see more consistency out of him for me to fully commit to him in cash all the time. But he is an option there. Miles Sanders, I would say would be an option if they actually use Miles Sanders. He's very good, and they do not use him. Jonathan Taylor is a go against Miami. I do like him at 6,300 today. I know he is banged up, but I do like him. I think this is a really good game for him to get his season on the start. Chris Carson against San Francisco. I think for red zone looks, he's pretty good, but he's not my favorite play. I would pay down to DeAndre Swift, 6,200, another banged up running back, but yet again, another guy that just puts up fantasy points. 11.8 was the worst that he got against Green Bay. Paying 6,200 for a guaranteed 10 plus fantasy points is something that you do want. You keep going down. Chuba Hubbard in play at 5,900 if you need to pay down for running back. I think it's pretty easy to pay down for running back. I'd go David Montgomery is probably my favorite cheap play this week at 5,800 playing against Detroit. A lot of things are going on in Chicago, but probably the one thing that should be consistent is Montgomery's carries. So I'm expecting more of a Cincinnati game and not a Cleveland game, especially with how good Cleveland's defense is. Detroit's defense is bad, so another option. And then two other plays that I would consider not my favorite cash plays by all means, more GPPs. Zach Moss at 5,300 against Houston. Like I said, 15-point favorites. Definitely is becoming that number one running back. You look at what he's done in the 2 weeks he has played, 16.4, 18.1. Another great matchup for him here. So paying 5,300 for a running back that's got at least 16 fantasy points in 2 games with another good game script, something that you're going to want to get more of a safer play in cash. Trey Sermon at 5,000 against Seattle. Seattle's run defense is terrible, and we've seen them give up a lot of points to running backs. Mitchell is going to be out, it looks like, so Sermon is the guy at 5,000. We go to wide receiver. Tyreek Hill, obviously, in play for me. I love him. I'd rather go Devontae Adams or Stephon Diggs. I think those guys are two of my favorite guys to pay up for. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't love. Cooper Kupp, I like a lot more than I would DeAndre Hopkins. DK Metcalf at 7,200. I think DK is due for a really, really, really big game. And we've seen his numbers. Yet again, guy that gets 10-plus fantasy points in a big division game. So DK Metcalf, $100 more expensive than Lockett. Lockett a little banged up, so that makes me like DK a little more, especially with how banged up San Francisco is. Calvin Ridley and Terry McLaurin, if you want to target this game, that's by all means fine. Neither offense is efficient in scoring, but they are efficient in getting the ball down the field, getting yards, getting receptions, targets. We've seen McLaurin have a really good game, but we have yet to see Calvin Ridley have that wide receiver one game. So both those guys I do like for today. Keep going down. Deontay Johnson, 6,200. With Claypool out, that wide receiver core is still banged up. So it's not one of my more favorite cash plays, but he is the guy that gets targeted in Pittsburgh. At least 10 targets in both the games. He didn't play last week, and Juju and Claypool got banged up last week, so I think it's going to be interesting. But Deontay Johnson is a good to go today. Odell Beckham at 5,800. I would say Allen Robinson at 5,800 is a great play here. I do like him. I don't think there's anyone that can guard him. It's just, are the Bears going to throw the ball to Allen Robinson finally? So Odell is probably my more safer play here at 5,800 against Minnesota. Devontae Smith, if you like a cheap pay option, if you're stacking that game and you're stacking Kansas City, Devontae Smith at 5,700 is a good play there. Also at 5,700 is Cortland Sutton against Baltimore. Baltimore actually has their defense is really banged up right now. And Cortland Sutton is obviously that number one target. Tim Patrick's a play for me too. I honestly see this being a defensive showdown and not as much as offense. We could see the offenses break out. We've yet to see Denver really get shut out, but we haven't seen the strongest opponents either. So that also raises a few eyebrows. Robert Woods at 5,300 if you don't want to pay up for the Cooper Kupp or DeAndre Hopkins. Robert Woods at 5,300. We've yet to see him have a really explosive game. 64 is the most yards he's gotten, 33, 27, and only 19 targets in 3 games. So hopefully this is the game where we see him explode. Corey Davis, 5,000, not one of my more favorite plays, but 5,000 facing his former team. Can finally see him explode. There's one guy I passed up here. Deebo Samuel I wanted to talk about, and I apologize for going past him at 6,500. George Kittle is looking like he's going to be out. If Seattle's moving the ball, San Francisco's got to move the ball. 6,500, Deebo Samuel's got a really good matchup today as well. We go down and look at some options. Tim Patrick, like I mentioned, is in play for that. We go and look at the Tennessee Rodgers, Westbrook. Neither one are in a really great matchup. There's probably going to be more Tennessee just running the ball all game. But those guys for the price of $3,200. Westbrook's probably more, I would feel more confident than Rodgers, but both of them are in play. Rodgers got that end zone target, but if they're going to get in the end zone, it's probably going to be Derrick Henry. So Westbrook would be my play. We also go look at Washington here, and you do get a pay down at 3,000. Curtis Samuel is back. The only thing you're going to watch for is how many snaps he's going to play. But at 3,000, he's a good GPP option. There's some other options there, guys, but nothing that really, really stands out for cash. Tight ends this week. Kittle's more than likely gone, like I said. Travis Kelce is $2,200 more than any other player, and rightfully so. Really good matchup against Philly here. 8,100, probably the safest play that you can have a tight end this week. TJ Hockenson, not my favorite play against Chicago this week. Mark Andrews, same thing, not a favorite matchup. I do like Kyle Pitts against Washington. I think that's a good play. Logan Thomas against Atlanta, also a good play that I like. Tyler Higbee, 4,600, really good play. Noah Fant, we might see the continuation of tight ends doing good against Baltimore. TJ Hockenson did have a bad game, but he only got targeted 3 times, so that does play a factor in there. Austin Hooper, 3,700 against Minnesota. I do also like, not huge on cash, but for more GPP. Dawson Knox, same thing, 3,600. Do like him for GPP, not as much cash. Tight ends for Dallas aren't really my thing right now. Evan Ingram at 3,000 against New Orleans. Cole Kmet, 3,000 against Detroit. 2 guys you could pay down for that should have decent games. Defenses, Jets, 2,000. That's what I would do. Pay down at a defense. If defenses get you points, then so be it. But pay down at a defense. I get that it's the Jets. They're a terrible team, yada, yada, yada. There's no Julio. There's no A.J. Brown. They face Denver, 4 points. New England, 3 points. Carolina, 4 points. They're not a good team. I get it. Their defense isn't all bad. A.J. Brown, Julio out. They look good. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. I will have the link for our Discord in the description down below. We not only do DFS, but we also do bets too. So if you guys are interested, definitely join it. Our package is very, very cheap for what we give out. So if you guys are interested, like I said, that link will be in the description down below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment as well on this video. I get back to everyone as soon as they comment. So hope this does help, and I hope you guys enjoy.